wellness recovery action planning, which is, sorry, hold on one second. Pretty much it's just a plan that you can set for yourself so that you can be well. That's a plan that you set for yourself as far as what your wellness tools are. But anyway, we'll go into depth about that throughout the slides. But I wanted to start off with an icebreaker. I love icebreakers because it helps me to get to know people more and more. So what I put is choose an animal and briefly tell us what animal you chose and why. So pretty much what animal relates to you, what type of relation. For me, I would say, I'll go first, but yeah, let me think. I would be a koala bear. Yeah, for one, I just love koala bears. I love unique animals. I love endangered species, I guess, and I consider myself very rare and unique. The way I think is different. I don't know. And I see the beauty of that animal. A lot of times I think that some of what the world would deem the ugliest animals, to me, is some of the cutest. Like I love pugs, the little dog pugs. I like, various deemed ugly animals. But anyway, so yeah, I would pick a koala bear because of his uniqueness, and that's what I deem myself to be.
So I would pick I actually have two animals. One is a cat because they sleep like 20 hours a day. So I love that, which is horrible. But I do love elephants because I think they're very loyal and they so love their children and they take care of each other's children. They're baby elephants and they're very protective. And I've read where they go back to like graves of other elephants that have died. So I think they're very loyal and very caring animal. I think they're beautiful. I know they're really big and wrinkly, but when they're in motion, I find that they're very beautiful. And I just think it's beautiful that they seem to care so much. That's what I like about elephants.
Thank you, Cameron. Who wants to go next?
This is Ben. I think I would be a mini horse because every time you're around a mini horse, you're just happy and people are coming around you, and I try to bring people together and try to share some of that happiness with those around me.
Ben, I love that. I've never heard that. All the animals that I've heard, I've never heard a miniature horse. But I like your reasoning behind it too. That's awesome.
Okay.
Kudos to you, Ben. Who else we got? Let's roll.
I was just reading about octopuses and they don't have centralized nervous systems. So they actually have like brain cells in their arms and in their bodies, which is cool and like a superhero. So that would be a fun animal to be.
Wow. Yeah.
I wonder how that affects their touch though. Do they feel differently than us when they touch stuff? I wonder.
Yeah, they like bring like their arms bring in different pieces of information and have like separate decision-making functions.
That's wild. I never knew that. Interesting. Thanks, Liz. Who's next?
I'll go. I'm in the car, y'all. Sorry, but my favorite animal is a dolphin. I have always loved dolphins. I think when they communicate, it sounds like they're giggling to me, and I've always thought that was so cute. And yeah, I also love to swim. So just like the opportunity to be free and like swim out in the wide ocean, I've always thought is super cool.
They're also super smart.
They are, exactly.
Very smart.
Cool. Thank you, Andrew.
I'm a turtle because they're slow moving, very deliberate. They think about, I assume they're thinking, but they don't rush off and do and I got this protective shell and I kind of like to stay in my shell and it's hard to figure out what's going on in there.
Yeah, It's like their shell is their safe space. I would see that like as an introvert, you know, they have their safe space.
Mhm.
Yeah. My wife's an introvert and like she could be around people, but she'll go in her shell because that's her safe space. She'll go off. So I like that. Thanks, Vaughn.
I had the
Hey,
same one,
Bobby,
Vaughn. Oh,
go
sorry, Jeff.
ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback off of Vaughn because I had the same exact animal, the turtle. But my reason was because they're very curious. Like when I've seen turtles, they always want to kind of come up to you and they're like, "What are you doing down here?" You hear me like snorkeling or something. And I also see them as kind of majestic. Like there's something serene about a turtle to me. So that's part of why I chose turtle.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah. What was you about to say, Mr. Jack?
I will be boring and say I want to be a dog because they're always happy and loyal.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, look, that's you too, Jack. Always happy.
Thank
My
you.
buddy. Uh-huh.
I'm going to piggyback off of Jack and agree, but I wouldn't be just a dog. I would be a golden retriever. We have two of
Oh,
them.
yes.
We have two of them, and you know, you've heard that old cliche. You know, a dog will love you even when you don't love him. You know, they're just so loyal, and you know, when you've had a stressful day, there's nothing better than coming home and just petting them, and all your troubles melt away. Until they want to be fed, in which case your troubles get
Oh yeah.
I'm on a food theme tonight. Does it show?
Yeah. Let me find you. You must be hungry, huh? Who else we got?
I also
Go ahead.
I also think I'm a dog, but I'm specifically a pug in that I'm not the most athletic, but
Yeah.
I'm always curious and I think I make people laugh. And like pugs, if pugs don't make you laugh, you don't have a soul. Like they're the best.
Yes, Ruth, I love you. That's what I'm talking about. I love pugs, man. You can't look at a pug and not laugh and smile. How they run up to you and they snort. It's just so cute. They're adorable. You about to go, Kristen? Christine?
Yes. So I would say the one that I would choose is a bluebird. So I wouldn't say it represents me, but I do see it in my dreams a lot. And it's always like a good sign, you know, I think they're a symbol of like hope and happiness and of good things to come. So I always like and enjoy seeing a bluebird, whether it's in my dream or real life. They always bring me a little bit of happiness on the inside. So, yep.
Oh, well, Christine, I hope you see a bluebird every day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who else we got?
All right, I've got a weird one, but it does describe me. It's a platypus.
That's new.
Well, platypus are really interesting because they're actually called nature's victims of a hoax. So I kind of relate to them only because they're not obvious any one thing, right? I don't think I'm obviously any one thing. I tend to be, I'm not gonna, I didn't want to pick a chameleon, but you know, my entire existence has been, the only constant has been change. So I see a platypus as sort of, you know, they could fit into all sorts of scenarios. I mean, they look like all sorts of different creatures. So that's what I identify with.
Yeah, I like that, Rebecca. Who else we got? We got Micah left, Cash, Adrika, Claudio, Kanisha.
I'll go, Bobby.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm gonna say an owl. I don't know why. That's just what came to my mind. I guess because they're mysterious and wise, and I'm trying to get wiser as I get older. So I'll say that.
There you go. I like that. I like that. I love owls too. Anyway, we got next. Adrika, what's little man say? What's his animal? What's your animal, little man? He looking like, who are you, light skinned guy?
So I'm kind of like torn. I'm going off my character traits. I feel like a parrot because I'm talkative. Date parrots are beautiful. I'm beautiful, and I don't know. But at heart, I would say an eagle. And that's it.
Gotcha. Thank you. Ms. Tadrika.
Oh, you mean Cindy and Rapunzel? My parents are adopting them.
I went, didn't I?
Yeah, you went.
Oh, okay.
Come on, fellas and ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Bobby, this is Kanisha.
Hey, Kanisha.
I've heard like 3 of them. I think everybody have said one of the ones that I wanted to say, but Tadrika said it, Bobby, and you know what I'm about to say. Of course, it's a beagle because I'm an owner of one, and oh my God, the joy that dog brings me, I can't, and people tell me, oh, you bring me so much joy, and he acts like he's just unbothered by anything, but he just go like kind of, and he's mixed with hound a little bit, so he constantly snooping around trying to find stuff to do and get into like his mama. So yeah, and I just love his personality, and like if I could be an animal, it would definitely be my beagle Joker.
Thank you, Kanisha.
You're welcome.
Can we see him?
Oh yeah, sure. Hold on.
Who's next? Got LaRonda, Ms. Crump.
I'll go, Bobby.
Let's hear it.
If I had an animal, I would be like a lion or a tiger. I just feel like right now in my life, I just feel like I have a lot of like pressure and like goals that I'm trying to accomplish. So I feel like that's the best mindset to have, is just to be like at the top of the food chain and just
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Like that.
Yeah, I have him right here. I don't know how to work this phone to flip him or whatever. And there he goes. Can y'all I'll take him outside. And that's the part nobody likes. It's cold out there. The Hulk is blowing through the wind. Say hey, everybody. Joker, say hey.
Hey, Joker.
Say hey. So cute. That's that, and as much stuff as I've been going through this week, just to see that dog, it kind of sort of helps. It just helps. So I'm not sure who said it about a dog and just the love it brings you after a rough day. It is honestly true.
It's unconditional. That's the beauty of it, and it's expressed so openly. But anyway, yes. Who's next?
Sure, I'll go. Mine is the
Hey,
sea
LaRonda.
turtle. Hello, Bobby. The sea turtle, 1, they're beautiful, and 2, they have all the faith in the world when they bury their offspring. They just leave them to the winds and pray that they make it back to the water, okay?
Wow. Didn't know that. Interesting fact.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't have that faith to leave my kids and hoping that the wind catch them. All right, who's next?
I'll go.
What's up, Michael?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get.
You got it?
No. All right, sorry about that.
It's all good.
I would probably be some type of big cat. Simply because they're independent. That's about it.
That's my brother, Mr. Independent. Who else we got? Claudio? Claude, I don't want to say, make sure I say your name right. Claudio?
My favorite is cat because it's fast moving and easy moving. It's like feline. And smart.
Cool, definitely good matches. Anybody else we have left? No one? Well, all right then. Once again, that's why I like icebreakers, because we just kind of, you know, if individuals really think about it, man, how much relation that we have. Because I see a lot of myself in it, just a lot of things that you guys express. So, and I can relate to a lot of the character traits. It's amazing to me, man, how connected we really are when we really connect, really communicate and have conversation with other people. So, but as I was saying, we're about to go into what this is called Wellness Recovery Action Plan. It was created by a lady named Mary Ellen Copeland. She has a PhD now, but she was sent to a mental health facility, sort of, I guess you would say something like Central Regional in Butner or Dorothea Dix. But they held her in this mental health facility involuntarily, and she's seen how people were being neglected who had mental health issues when all they really needed was to take control of their own personal wellness. Because at the end of the day, we all know what we really need in our life. We don't need nobody to tell us. We just need to search ourselves to find out what we need. So she came up with this plan. It's evidence-based, so it proves that it's effective. And for me, man, it just helped me to take charge of my life. That's why I put this little quote. This isn't from a specific person. It just says something that I thought of. It's taking charge of our lives so that we can get the most out of life. And that's something that I had to do. When I came home from prison in 2011, man, I was blaming people for my situation. Excuse me, let me back up. I was blaming people for the reason why I was getting out of prison. But when I finally began to take personal responsibility and take charge of my life changed. I mean, that's what I tell anybody. If you really take life seriously and take charge of your life, man, your life's gonna change for the better. So that's something that I truly live by. And maybe somebody can give me some insight in this, ask a few people. What does wellness look like to you? This is a rhetorical question, but I would like for somebody to answer that for me if they would. It's personal. It's not like a definition, a general definition, but what does wellness look like to you?
Can I go?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, that's what I'm actually working on. So that's why I'm really excited about this phase and what you chose to talk about survival mode. To me, wellness simply, because I was making like this long, drawn out definition, right, what wellness is. And I simply came up with my own definition. For me, wellness is having inner peace, organization, and discipline. And that's what I am choosing to look at wellness, or, you know, say wellness is. And
awesome.
Life events has brought me to that conclusion. I mean, you can give me some insight, but that's what I have chose to summarize wellness up as for myself.
Yeah, wellness is really what you make it to be, and what is it defined by you? Like for me, wellness, a big part of wellness is having order. My life has always been in disorder, and like it lacked discipline.
Right.
I always did things kind of like on a whim, like because I sold drugs, so I was living from day to day, just like there wasn't really no structure to my life. But once I brought structure to my life, oh my gosh, the peace that it brought, the lack of drama the drama that it removed from my life. When I just began to set boundaries for my life, just discipline myself in various areas. So yeah, thank you for that, Tadrick. Anybody else want to share what wellness looks like to them? And I tell you this, anything that we use, the more we take it seriously, the more we really like think about these questions and stuff like this, because people, you don't have to answer them to us, but just these are questions to pose to yourself. I'm big on being intrinsic, like looking within yourself to really find the answers. So this is something, you know, once again, you get out of what you put into it. So anybody else want to share?
I think it's really hard. I grew up in a family that has a lot of wellness problems as far as mental disabilities. I mean, just people in my family were all suffering from depression, manic depressions, seasonal affective disorder. And so growing up in that environment, somehow I didn't get it for some reason. And I'm really happy about that. But it was constantly around me. And then I seem to attract people with drama to try to help them and fix them and everything. And I think it's because of my family, maybe. I'm not blaming them, but it's like I was trying to make things better or be normal, what people call normal. But it's not even normal. I don't even know how to explain it.
So what does wellness look like to you? Like right now, if you was to say, hey, this is me being and living in wellness and walking in my wellness.
Wellness, well, one thing was, this is an awful thing to say. One thing is getting away from my mother, having to take care of her, which is a horrible thing to say, but to concentrate more on myself, so I can help others also. But also to like not just dwell on things and just realize the things that I need to do for myself and not just sit there and not do anything. It's really hard for me to get up and do stuff, actually. I mean, I do stuff, but I had a really good conversation with my son and he's like, Mom, it's up to you to find a better job, or it's up to you. This stuff's not going to fall in your lap. And I was like, you know, you're totally right. But I said, but it fell in my lap all the time, all my life. And he said, yeah, well, let's stop now.
Yeah, well, that's, as we go through this, the reason I pose this question now is like, as we go through this and we're talking about wellness and just different aspects of wellness, then I really want, you know, this, I guess this question can be answered even more. Hey, Tydrika, sweetie, you can put that on mute. All right, thank you. So look, there are 4 parts to recovery. And recovery, people get caught up in the word recovery, like, oh, recovery means I got issues or that I'm on drugs or whatever. It's not, recovery can be recovering from anything. To be honest, because, you know, like me, I went through Step Up. I was recovering from life. Like a lot of us are just recovering from life. A lot of us are recovering from this COVID because a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people got degrees or in the back. It's a completely different position than they were in 2019. So in some aspect, we're all recovering. Some people are recovering from trauma. Some people are recovering from sexual abuse. But from Mary Ellen Copeland's model, she says that there's 4 parts of a recovery. And one of those parts is the key recovery concepts. And the key recovery concepts is 5 of them, which we're going to go into detail about what these are. But just remember these 5 things, which is hope, personal responsibility. Hope is what we all need, because if you don't have hope, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing that's progressing you, pushing you to the next level. It's not necessarily something that's religious. It's just like, yo, I have hope that things are going to get better in my life at some point. But it also means that we got to put the work as well. And then you have personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is, of course, what it says, you know, taking responsibility for your actions, for your life. Yes, some things might have caused us to put us in the positions that we're in. We might have been through some bad relationships. We might have been raised up without a father or whatever the case may be. But we have to take personal responsibility for where we're at and say, you know what, I'm going to do X, Y, Z to get to that next point, get to that next level. The next one will be education. Education, people look at it as, okay, I got to know X, Y, Z, I got to go to school. Now, education and wellness and recovery action planning, it means knowing yourself. Y'all might say, well, I know myself. I'm 40 years old. I'm just now figuring out who Bobby is, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, what my triggers are, you know, what type of people that I don't need to be around, what type of people I do need to be around. So education is very broad, and it's also learning about yourself. If you do have some mental health issues, if you do have some trauma, hey, you know what? I've been traumatized in my life, so I might need a therapist that helps me learn coping mechanisms to get past my trauma. And I always look at people have a negative connotation when it comes to mental health. They think it means that that you're crazy or whatever the case may be. I look at it like this. A mental health professional is just like a physical health professional. You have to go to a doctor when you're sick. Like if you've been through some type of trauma in your life or been through some hardship, it could be divorce, it could be anything. You need to go to a professional so that you can get well. Just like you would go to a professional to get well if you had a physical, some type of physical extremity. It's like you go to a physical therapist if you got to rebuild yourself to get, to say you broke your leg, to learn how to use your leg again. Like if you've been through a traumatic event, it's going to affect your brain. So it's like learning how to think again, learn how to process your thoughts. So I look at mental health, man, as something that's been stigmatized, but it's really something that's a beautiful thing, man, when you really pay attention to our mental health.
I so agree with you. I mean, I've seen it because you can't physically see the mental health issues. Like when you break your leg, like you say, you can see you break your leg or you have a rash or you have whatever. But mental health is kind of like you can't see it physically. And so people think they poo-poo it and they're like, oh, it's nothing. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and
we've been taught.
ridiculous.
Yeah, we've been taught to deal with our trauma and just get over it. Or if our children are going something, all they need is a whooping. And I mean, we have all these stigmatizations. We have all these mantras that society has given us. And, the fact of the matter is they're not true. Really, we need support. We need education. We need love. We need, compassion, empathy. Some other issues that they say need attention is getting good health care. That's something that I really didn't take. I'll say this is something that I took for granted. Now I see my doctor on a regularly. Granted, I do, it's because I have insurance now, but I still get regular checkups. I get regular physicals. I check my blood and my urine regularly. So just to make sure I don't have nothing going on like cancers and stuff like we were talking about Screech. He found that he was level 4, had level 4 cancer, and 3 weeks later he's dead. But what if he was getting regular checkups? You know what I mean? Or what if he was actually paying attention to his body and things like that? Not saying he wasn't, but I just really believe when we do that, man, we can lessen the chance of us, we could prolong our life, let's just say that. And then also medication management. A lot of times we look at medication as a bad thing. Medication might be temporary just to get us through certain areas of our life, whether it be mental health or whether it be physical health. It's just, once again, it's just ultimately paying attention to yourself and knowing what it is that you need. And the other parts is, remember I said there was 4 parts of recovery. And the second one is the wellness toolbox. We'll go deeper into that, probably not today, but like tomorrow. And wellness toolbox really is just like, what do you do for your wellness? Like for me, I like to ride bikes. So that cycling was one of my wellness tools. Talking to a friend is a wellness tool. To be honest, Micah, he's on this call now. He's one of my supporters. Like he go to that when I have somebody I need to talk to or to process some of my thoughts. So that's one of my wellness tools. I have my therapist. That's one of my wellness tools. I have other supporters in my life. I have a mentor. That's one of my wellness tools. Taking my kids out. That's something that, some people might find it to be aggravating, but to me, that's like my wellness tool because I love being with my kids and seeing them smile. Number 3 would be Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And once again, that's the name of the whole thing wrapped, but there's actually a planning session where you write down your triggers, you write down when things are breaking down. So not only do you know you can actually identify these things, but you can show other people that are your supporters, hey, look, when things are breaking down, I start isolating myself. So if your supporter knows that, they know, you know what, I need to call Bobby because he's been isolating himself. I ain't seen him, he ain't called me. So maybe I need to go by his house to check on him. You know what I'm saying? But if my supporters didn't know these things and I didn't have that type of relationship, they couldn't do that. And I'd be in the house by myself doing who knows what that I have no business doing. And then you also have recovery topics. Everybody's at a different place in their life. So there's different topics that fits wherever you are in your life. And then like, if anybody after this, you have it, say, you know what, Bobby, can you give me some more information on this stuff? I'm more than happy because we probably won't have, I'm only doing 4 weeks. So we're not gonna have time to go through everything. But the various recovery topics are building self-esteem, something that I feel like we all need to learn because it's something that I was never taught. My father wasn't there, so I was never, I don't know, I never had confidence in myself. So I had to learn at my older ages how to build self-esteem and feel confident in myself. Excuse me, another topic is changing negative thoughts to positive ones. Another one is work-related issues, like how to deal with work-related issues. A lot of times we deal with things like how to manage your stress at work. That's something that I'm learning how to do now because I wear so many hats. Then you have trauma recovery. A lot of us has been through issues. Like I said, a lot of people been through sexual trauma. A lot of people been through like just life trauma, relationship trauma, church trauma. Trauma comes in all different shapes, forms, and fashions. And none of us are exempt from it. So that's something that you can educate yourself on to better navigate your way through it. Suicide prevention. That's something good for yourself to understand how to navigate, but also to help other people. You never know what your peoples are going through in their life. So it's good to know the signs, but only way you can know the signs if you educate yourself on what these signs might be. And then peer support. Peer support is great. I took my peer support training in 2014, I think. But yeah, and it's just learning what it means to support somebody through their recovery. And it's not telling somebody what to do, it's just being there to support them in what it is that they want to do, helping them through that process. Yeah. Any questions from anybody so far? Don't hesitate. And also be open, man. We can always talk about anything. One thing I want for 4-Step Up is for us to be more family oriented. So like not feeling like this is just a program, a systematic program, because that can get boring. But I want us to really be a community, man, and us start engaging with each other as family members, so to speak. But anyway, this is a question that I was thinking as I was doing this. Ask yourself, what is my life lacking that I can add to my wellness? You know, based on what those things that I just named, what's some things that you feel like you could add to your life right now? That your life is lacking out of those things, whether it be personal responsibility, your life might lack hope, your life might lack supporters. So just really search yourself and figure out what's my life missing? What can I add? Okay, so back to the key recovery concepts. As I said earlier, we have hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support. So remember these. We're gonna go through and break these things down, break these different concepts down. For one, hope. There is much to hope for in life as we can get well and stay well for long periods of times. I think sometimes we tell ourselves or we get stuck in these mindsets to feel like we can't escape the situations or the circumstances or the mind frames that we have, but that's a lie. Because if anybody was to meet me back in 2009 and 10, then they would see that it's possible for a person to change not only their life, but the way they think, the way they talk. You know, it's all about educating yourself and really taking life seriously and being intentional about what you want from yourself. You don't need nor will you benefit from dire predictions about your future. Thinking negatively about your life and thinking that things aren't really going to go right because of the system or because of your circumstances or your family members. I mean, you never can benefit of that. You know, that's why I try to, as much as possible, to stay positive. Even if things are looking kind of glim in my life, I try to stay on that positive trajectory. Or if I can't find myself to get in that positive space, I reach out to my supporters to help me to get back to that good thinking. Or just to have somebody to sit through it with me, you know, to weather that storm with me, to empathize. Your supporters need to encourage you, supporting you to stay well and helping you feel better. That's the hope that I hope our supporters also bring us hope, because that's what they're supposed to be there for. To encourage us, support us in staying well and helping us to feel better, not making us feel better. Nobody can do that. But if we have people in our life and if we say that we care about people, we need to be there to help as much as possible for them to feel better. Because that's my goal, man. I love to see people smile. I love to see people get to the next level, even if it comes to be them passing me. That really doesn't matter to the fact I just want to see people in their space.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
So you don't get to be my age and not have had a few years of counseling here, thousands of dollars of counseling. One of the things that I heard from a counselor that sticks with me, and occasionally you'll find it that I do it around my house if you ever go snooping in my house. She said, don't believe the lie. And hopelessness is a lie, because we always have hope. As long as we draw a breath, we have hope. And so she's like, just put it all over your house. Put a Post-it note up. Don't believe the lie. So in your bathroom, on your mirror, first thing in the morning, you're going to see it. Don't believe the lies. You know, we hold on. We can hold on to that and hold on to that hope that there are good things coming from us. And if somebody says they're not, that's a lie.
Yes, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And that's perfect too, man, just to have like those affirmations all around your house. Like now they have them at TJ Maxx and places like that. If you go over there to like the pictures place where they got like those positive, you can just post them. I have them all around in my house too. So, I mean, it's just about figuring out what you need. I mean, because like for me, I'm so used to seeing things negative from the culture that I come from, just the dynamic. We used to joke on each other, and that was our form of laughter, when that's like, look, we're tearing each other down. I don't see the benefit in this. And the reality is, man, it's just, you have to figure out what you need. And now I tell people like, look, I'm not going to do that. And I don't feel no benefit in that. So, you know, I strive to stay away from that. So thank you for sharing that, Renee.
You're welcome.
Personal responsibility. And this is a biggie, like a super biggie, because I've seen this because I've worked with so many people, and because I know this is a big thing that held me back in my life, it's taking personal responsibility for your life. And these are some things that I highlighted. You are the expert on yourself. Don't nobody know you better than yourself. You know, people can come and say, oh, I know you, da, da, da. Like nobody knows what you need better than you. And another thing is, you know what you might need to learn. That's something that I had to realize. At one point, I thought I knew everything, but the reality was I was leaning on my own understanding. My understanding kept leading me to these terrible places. So I had to realize I was an expert on myself to know that I didn't know something, that I had to reach out to other people to find out the information I needed, whether it being for budgeting, whether it being like, look, I need to know how to manage my emotions because I keep flipping on people, and that's not something I want to do. So but I had to become the expert on myself. You know what you want and what you need. Once again, nobody knows what you want and what you need better than yourself. So it's time that we speak up and take responsibility for our wants and our needs, and not feel like, hey, we put these expectations on other people in our life for them they should know. No, we can know, and we can communicate that to the people that we love and that care about us. Also, it is up to you to take personal responsibility for your own wellness in your own life. That's something else I see. A lot of times we put our wellness and our happiness in the responsibility of other people, whether it be our spouse, whether it be our kids. Oh, well, if you did this, then I'd be happy. Or if you did that, then things would be better. But the reality is that's not true. You're not happy because we're choosing not to be happy, whether it be because of the things we're choosing to take on in our life, or because of the people that we're choosing to associate with, or because of the activities that we're engaging in, or because we're not doing the activities that we need to be engaging in, whether it be taking charge of our life or getting around the type of people we need to get ourselves around. Sometimes that means taking back control that you may have lost in the past. Like, well, for instance, can anybody else relate to this? You know, taking back control of your life. I lost control of my life, whether it been to drugs, or whether it been to lifestyles, or whether it been to women. There was numerous times where I lost control. And I had to really come to the realization, like, look, I got to take back control of my life. I can't put this in the responsibility of the system, of my girlfriend, my wife, my mom. I got to take responsibility. I got to take back control. Is there anybody that can relate to that?
Yes, me, Bobby.
Let's hear it. Let me hear something, Patrick.
Okay, so well, I don't even want to relate on significant others. With my children, more of I know I had been overwhelming myself with not having control of my personal life. um, giving too much energy to things. In my past, I did a lot of things, and I can't take it back. I can't bring it back. So my kids, I've always been finding myself, like being guilty. I came home to be a mother, to do what I'm supposed to do. So I got to just kind of take control. I don't want to keep living what I did 6-7 years ago, and it was a struggle for a while, but it's kind of like, I think they're getting it, like, okay, this mama, she did what she did, but she's home and she's doing a good job. I don't think they want to trade places. So yeah, trying to get control of your life, even after being in an institution, and addiction, mental health, any type of thing that you are bound in. I feel like it's a struggle trying to gain back control of your life, because there's so many steps you got to take. And I won't even say that I have full control of my personal life, to be honest. I'm working the steps, and so it feels good though. It feels good that I'm, acknowledging what I didn't do before, what I need to do now. Like you said, we control our happiness. Either we're not engaging in the correct programs, activities, or we're not doing the correct things, or we got the wrong people around, so it's just making sense now. And so it's starting to feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And see, but you are doing it though. It doesn't say that you've taken back control. It says that you're taking back control. So that you're doing that. You're taking back control of what you've lost. And whether it be kids like me, I'm taking back control because it wasn't that I wasn't there, but I was a provider. I wasn't a nurturer to my kids. So now I'm taking back control. Like, look, daddy's here. Y'all not gonna be running over mama now. I'm gonna be here, So yeah, I can relate to that greatly. The last one, the last bullet point, those of us who take responsibility achieve the highest level. I'm going to repeat this. Those of us who take responsibility achieve the highest levels of wellness, happiness, and life satisfaction. Once you take responsibility for your life, take back control of your life. Like Tajika said, start getting disciplined, bringing order to your life. I promise you, you will see the wellness that you're looking for, the happiness that you're looking for, even the life satisfaction. You might not be where you want to be, but you'll start feeling some type of satisfaction out of your life. And once again, I can only go off what I've experienced through my personal life, but I know it and I've seen others have that same satisfaction in their life. It's not reaching, once again, you might not have attained what you want, but you're going to have that satisfaction. Next one, education. As a matter of fact, I've been reading a lot. Somebody, Tajika, you read the first one, first bullet point for me.
I will. One moment. Let me see. Let me slide to the screen where it's on.
Okay.
Because I'm on my cell phone. Maybe that's why I can't see all the screens at like one time.
Oh, you good.
Okay. I'm swiping. Okay, so learn all you can about yourself so you can make good decisions about treatment, lifestyle, career, relationships, living space, leisure time activities, all aspects of your life.
And that's a biggie. Learn about yourself. Know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Like sometimes, y'all know y'all see where it says living space, y'all might question and say, what do they mean by that? Sometimes where you live is not the place for you. Sometimes the environment that you find yourself in isn't a place for you. No matter how bad you want to be there, it might be a woman that you're living with or a man. Like, man, I need to live here. I need just, this is my comfort zone, but it's not the best place for you to live because you can't find yourself progressing in that environment. So you have to be honest with yourself. What's it saying? Learn all you can about yourself and learning that and saying, look, no, this doesn't fit for me. Career-wise, I've changed my career numerous times, not because I'm a job hopper, it's because I was trying to find what works for Bobby, not what works for everybody else, what works for me. Lifestyle-wise, how you living? What type of activities are you engaging in? Are you still out there clubbing? There's nothing wrong. If that's what if you club and still be okay with it and still live a productive life, go for it. But if it's causing some type of drama or confliction in your life, it might be something that you need to let go. Canlin, you'll read the second one for me?
Yes. Talking to others who have similar experiences and or those who have expertise in the field.
talking to others who have similar experiences and those who have expertise in the field. It's always good to talk to people who's been through same thing that you've been through. Maybe not the exact same thing, but just similar experiences. Like me, a lot of times I share my experiences, not because I'm trying to boast in where I came from, but just because I want to be able to relate to the individuals I'm talking to. Because I know y'all too have been through similar instances in y'all life. Because I've had conversations with most people on this on the Zoom. So it's always good. And then speak to people who have expertise. Don't be too proud of where you can't ask questions. That's a big part of my advancement in life, is not being scared to ask questions, not being afraid to not know something. I'll read the third one. Considering all perspectives and deciding which one feels right to you. It's always good to get a comprehensive overview of information. What I mean by that is get as much information you can on whatever topic you're trying to know about so that you can make the best decision for yourself. And then also reviewing educational resources. I'm big on learning. I'm a baby nerd. So I'm big on learning things that I don't know, like whether it be about myself, it could be about the human body, it could be about mental health, it could be about parenting. Me and my wife went to a parenting class. And you asked me a few years ago, I know how to be a father. The reality was I didn't. So when I went to the class, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a terrible father. I wasn't, I just didn't have, I was ignorant, to a lot of these parenting tools. So I was able to add some tools to my mailbox to help benefit my kids. And all day we say how much we love our kids. So are we willing to educate ourselves so that we can be the best possible parents that we can be? And in doing something like that, that's going to bring your wellness, because you're like, man, I'm doing, or I'm initiating what I want to do anyway, which is being a better parent. Next, the breakdown is self-advocacy. Cash, you'll read the first. Cashmere, you'll read the first one for me.
Become a strong advocate for yourself.
Yes, learn how to speak up for yourself. I understand some of us have different personalities. Some people are passive, some are more aggressive. Some people are alpha, some are not. Thing about it is, regardless of where you're at, we have to learn how to be a strong advocate for ourselves. And to me, the best way to be a strong advocate for ourselves is to go right back to education and say, educating yourself about yourself and the things that are going on around you. The second one is believe in yourself. It's hard to progress anywhere in life, everyone, if we're not believing in ourselves. If we're not believing that we can get to the next level, if we're not believing that we can step up, then I don't see too much progression line in wait for us. Somebody read the third one for me.
Know your rights and insist that they are respected.
Yes, know your rights, everyone. We all have personal rights. We're gonna read through them in a second. Hopefully we got enough time, but it's like a personal bill of rights. It's like 25 bill of rights, things that we need to start standing on, like that we are as human beings, we have the right to. I'll read the next one. Expressing yourself clearly and calmly until you get what you need for yourself. That's something that I had to learn, because I'm very reactive. So I'll start expressing what I want, but then it's not coming out sometimes clearly and calmly, and then it's not being received as I want it to. So, just practicing being clear and calm and expressing our needs to individuals that we're engaging with, whether it be our supporters, whether it be our healthcare providers, whether it be friends, girlfriend, whoever. Learning how to express ourselves, man, is definitely a positive. Somebody read, Ben, you'll read the last one for me?
Yeah, set personal goals and work towards meeting them by getting the facts, planning your strategy, gathering support, and targeting your efforts.
Yeah, setting personal goals, get the facts, find out what it is you want, what do you have to do to attain whatever your goal may be. As a case manager, come to me like, hey, Bobby, I'm trying to figure out some goals that I want to set, and I can sit down with you and we can plan a strategy. That's how you get out of survival mode. It's plan, plan, plan. Always remember that. Plan, plan, plan. That's the best way to get out of survival mode. It's like, have a strategy, set goals for yourself. Also, where it says gathering support, Figure out what you need, and do you need any type of support? Support doesn't necessarily mean you need something like financial or monetary or anything like that. Just means, hey man, you might need emotional support. You might need just educational support. You know, you just got to find out what it is you need. And then targeting your efforts is pretty much just being very intentional about what it is you want. Cashmere, I can use you an example. Like, I've seen you be very intentional about your progression. Like, you going back to school, you finishing your degree, you taking the steps that you need to take to get what you want. And now, boom, you getting your degree and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, you set this goal, you figured out what you need to do, you got the facts, you got made a strategy, and boom, you about to achieve your goal. Any questions? I know I'm kind of going along. Just time is restricted. Now look, I want to go through this because I think we got like 6 or 7 minutes left. I want to each person read one, and then somebody else, like, so everybody take their phone off mute and like, let's try to go through these because it's 25 of them. I'm gonna start it off and then we'll go from there. Just somebody pop in, boom, and read the next. Okay, y'all? Okay, thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, I'll read the first one. So these are our personal, as individuals, our personal Bill of Rights. I have the right to ask for what I want.
I have the right to say no to requests or demands I cannot meet.
I have the right to change my mind.
I have the right to make mistakes and don't have to be perfect.
I have the right to follow my own values and standards.
I have the right to express all of my feelings, both positive and negative, in a manner that will not harm others.
I have the right to say no to anything when I feel I am not ready, it is unsafe, or it violates my values.
Yes.
I have the right to determine my own priorities.
I have the right not to be responsible for others' behaviors, actions, feelings, or problems.
Yes.
I have the right to expect honesty from others.
I have the right to feel angry and to express my anger in a responsible manner.
I have the right to be uniquely myself.
I have the right to feel scared and say I'm afraid.
I have the right to say I don't know.
I want to pause
I
right
have
here.
the
Just want
right-
y'all. Want to pause right there. Just you can say I don't know. You don't have to have an answer for everything, y'all. I love that one because I always felt like in my life that I had to have an answer for something, or I would be looked at as stupid or like uneducated or whatever. But it's okay to say I don't know. But go ahead.
I have the right to make decisions based on my feelings, beliefs, and values.
Yes.
I have the right to my own reality.
I have the right for my own need for personal space and time.
I have the right to be playful and frivolous.
I have the right to be healthy.
I have the right to be in a non-abusive environment.
I have the right to change and grow.
Yes.
I have the right to be treated with dignity and respect.
Yes.
I have the right to have my needs and wants respected by others.
I have the right to a fulfilling sex life. I knew I was gonna get a giggle from somebody out of that one.
I have a right to be happy.
There you go. Like, I put all those exclamation marks because like that's the biggest thing is, to me, ultimately, it's just being happy, man. You know, we have this life to live, and the goal is just to find happiness, you know. Let me go through. Okay, the last one, but definitely not the least, is supporters. And the key concepts: support from family, friends, and care providers is definitely helpful. You know, that's just an added incentive to our life. Being effectively supported will help you feel better and enrich your life. The reason I put that, because I really want people to realize that some people, I used to be in the same mindset. I don't need nobody. I can do this on my own. The reality was I couldn't. If I didn't have people to come in my life and be there to support me through the process, I would not be where I am today. I wouldn't be working with Step Up. I wouldn't be working with Stay. I wouldn't be nowhere where I am today. I could not have been where I am today without reaching out to other people and using the supports in my life. I didn't rely on nobody, but I definitely used my supports as a benefit in my life. You will benefit from having at least 5 good supporters you can call on when you need or want. Granted, I've heard people when I said that say, oh, well, I ain't got nobody. Well, okay, it doesn't say you have to start with 5 good supporters. You can start with none. So this means you working to add people into your life, work to grow your support network so that you're not relying on that one person. I'll give you an example. Me and my wife got to the point, we left a specific church at one point in our life in 2016. And then we began to depend solely on each other. But the reality was you can't depend solely on one person for everything. And it began to take a toll to where we had these expectations for each other to fulfill these roles that we couldn't fulfill. Like there's things that I couldn't fulfill that her girlfriends probably could fulfill, and vice versa for me. My homeboys could feel certain things that she could never fulfill. You know, so it's just realizing that you need more than just yourself in your life. And supporters. Supporters are someone to talk to, a companionship. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. You will benefit from having at least 5 good supporters you can call on when you need or you want. Someone to talk to, companionship, to have a good time, helping figuring things out and making decisions. And once again, don't feel like you're on your own. It's good to ask questions and not feel like you know everything. And someone to take over for you and keep you safe when you can't take care of yourself. Sometimes it'll get to a point in our life, man, where we, you know, it might get chaotic and, you know, we need somebody to come in and take over for us. Supporters are people that care about you, that can empathize with you, that affirm and validate you and your experience, accept you as you are and listen to you and share with you as well. Supporters are people who advocate for you. They enjoy sharing fun and interesting activities with you, are willing to follow your predetermined plans, meaning your crisis plan, we're going to talk about that later. That's your plan, and they have to be willing to follow that if you ever find yourself getting in a crisis. And the most valuable thing a person can ever do for you is listen. So when you're looking for good supporters, man, it's always telling them, look, I need a good listener in my life, and I'm willing to be that for you as well. A good supporter knows that unasked advice, it's a key word. I do this all the time. Unasked advice, because I give advice that was never asked of me. Criticism and judgments won't help and will probably make the person feel even worse. I have done that numerous times. I have failed at that numerous times because I've always tried to give people unasked advice. Now
Me
I'm learning
too.
in my life to be a better listener and shut my daggone mouth. They'll let me know if they need something from me. But right now, what they need is just the ear. So, yeah, and our train stops here, everyone. I know our time's out, but I don't know how much time we got left, Mackenzie.
Sorry, my screen just did something crazy. Like 2-ish, 3-ish more minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so could anybody share one of these 2 questions? Like what stood out the most for you all today? And or what's a takeaway for you today? Like what can you take with you? Say, you know what, it's something that I need to start taking serious and implementing into my life.
So I think just that if we all as individuals just understand that wellness and self-care is really important, because if we don't have self-care or figure out what wellness look like to us, I feel like every other area in your life could crash kind of. If I just need to share, you guys, because I had been hiding myself, and I guess I had been fighting depression. All the symptoms were there, but I'm like, I'm okay, I'm good, I got this. And actually I had a meeting with someone this week, and I'm like, it hit me. Bobby says, his topic is survivor mode. And so that's just what I've been in. And it has caused me to kind of like mentally break down. Until recently I realized that I needed to stop. I don't have to be in survival mode today. It's okay.
Yes.
I'm living normal. And I was practicing old behaviors, go, storing up for next year. And what in the world am I storing up for next year for? When I'm just in today. And so it's just all making sense. And like you said, if we use what we learn or what we are engaging in or trying, so I'm actually, this is the first meeting I can say probably this year that I feel like I'm retaining something. Why? Because I've been in survival mode. My brain was just always chaotic, go. So just thank you, Bobby, for, having this topic. During the pandemic, I think everybody should talk about being in survival mode. But yeah, so.
Yeah, exactly. I think because we all can have our life together, we think from a financial point, but still because of the circumstances right now we're in, we're still mentally in survival mode. We're very
Yes.
reactive, we're snappy, But yeah, our time is up, man. But if I'm gonna send out this PowerPoint, but if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to email me and reach out. I love to chat some more. You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Cool. I will see you all back in the main room. You can either go there by clicking leave breakout room, where it'll automatically send you back to the main room in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I got to start broadcasting like a 3-minute warning.
Oh, I'm telling you, we take it right to the buzzer.